denote a man, because
Yes.
class cannot define or describe a man, because
No, class is not a brand. He wants to say class is not the brand.
yes, ma'am, yes, he
Class is not a brand. Even if it is not only a question of Elijah Doolittle, if we extend your imagination, if you extend your analysis, you will see that class hardly matters.
yes, ma'am,
The
yes,
transformation he wants to give to Elijah through the efforts of Mr. Higgins and Mr. Pickering. Actually, at the end of the play, we find that Elijah is transformed.
yes.
Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am. She has transformed, but no, but she was like, she was deep rooted to her own ground only, own background only. She has transformed within, like externally, but by mind,
Have you
by
seen, has anybody of you seen English Winglish, famous movie of Sri Devi?
Yes, ma'am, where she learns English.
She not only learns English, she proves that she can, isn't it? She challenges her family and how secretly she goes for the coaching and how she becomes successful and how she proves that she knows English. Then she talks. It is
Her
the
whole
same.
her
Yes,
whole persona changes, ma'am. She becomes a more confident person also.
yes. What underestimates you? Because you are not able to be vocal. You cannot utter your feelings out. You cannot speak out your heart. And language is the main barrier. Of course, language and nature, but here we find only language. And you most typically saw is focusing on the phonetics or the dialect of a particular area. He wants to say, you know, I want to refer to an essay of G.V. Shaw about spoken English. Has anybody gone through that spoken English written by G.V. Shaw? There he says English is not grammar. The whole purpose of English is to communicate. If you go to a place and want to know what is the direction to a particular area, say church, then you need not speak a single grammatical line that you go this way, then you turn right, and then you turn left, and then there will be a light post, and there you will get the church. No, right, left, and then straight you find the church. With very minimum use of words, he wants to direct the stranger to the church. There he says spoken English is not grammatical or verbose English, where we find we need to rectify our grammatical error, but the first purpose is to communicate. Here he wants to say that language is not a barrier for social classes. Any poor lady can speak better English, isn't it? And see, he represents this idea through the character
Eliza.
of what?
Eliza Doolittle.
Elijah Doolittle. But before coming to Pygmalion, he had written many plays, and I don't think it will be enough. There will be enough time to discuss all them. But coming to Pygmalion, the girl Elijah Doolittle is not confident. She has been subdued socially, economically, and she has no voice. But this fellow, Mr. Higgins, he tries to uplift her status by teaching her perfect accent in English, by teaching her perfect accent of English, phonetics. Understood? So, Elijah Doolittle is not an opportunist. Elijah Doolittle behaves particularly as a student, and she tries to catch everything, isn't it? She tries to catch everything that Mr. Higgins speaks. But another fellow, Mr. Pickering, who is older than Mr. Higgins, he is very sympathetic towards Elijah Doolittle, and he says that this is not the way to teach the new girl, but he is very kind and he talks very softly with Elijah Doolittle. And then we come to the real sphere where Elijah Doolittle becomes able to learn the language. Understood? Elijah Doolittle becomes confident and uses it successfully. When is it?
Ma'am, in that party which was thrown by Pickering Colonel, there she realizes that she has learned, and it was even there was a one instant that Eliza has practiced so much that Pickering used to call Eliza by not Eliza Doolittle, but she used to say Miss Eliza Doolittle. So there was an instance that Eliza had enhanced herself by practicing so much.
So before Pygmalion, Bernard Shaw had tried to, if you have to take a little note of your historical background and Shaw's ideology and then his creations, and then we come to the text. Bernard Shaw belongs to a very impoverished Irish family. He is not very well to do. He belonged to an impoverished Irish family, and he tried to change. He was born in 1856, but he tried to change his own status. And by becoming socially famous, he wanted to confirm the fact that if there will be effort, poor people can be uplifted to the mainstream. And the plays that he had written, just I'm numbering most important one. One is Pygmalion, the other is Candida. You might have read Candida, then Man and Superman, then Major Barbara, and also The Philanderer and Mrs. Warren's Profession. So these plays, they focused on various aspects of a particular society. In this Pygmalion, he is focusing on the girl, but there are also romances, there are also different genre plays, and it is very difficult to conclude to what genre this play belongs. Either it is a novel, or it is a drama, or it is a case study of a particular girl regarding language learning. All these things, all these controversies come to the forefront after the thorough discussion about the play. So before writing Pygmalion, he had attempted and wrote successfully many plays, which discovered that Bernard Shaw did not only think about this sphere of language, rather, he spoke a lot about various matters through different representative characters. And Shaw was an ideologist. Just note down few lines. Shaw was an ideologist. Shaw was an ideologist who not only tried to focus on the social status of a woman, who is downtrodden, but he has extended his insight up to many more things, like heroic tragedy,
Ma'am, which tragedy?
heroic tragedy, and he has touched all these genres: heroic tragedy, romantic plays, social satires, religious plays, political satire, reformative essays, and imaginary stories, which also brought him name and fame. Now, many people comment, don't write. Critics comment, or many critics comment, that Pygmalion is all about phonetics. Is it?
Ma'am, phonetics is there, but this is not the central
Is
theme.
it all about phonetics?
Yes, yes, the central theme is the phonetics.
Central theme is improvement of phonetics of Elijah Doolittle, isn't it? That is the plot. That is the purpose of the writing. But is it the whole thing?
No, no. It's a part of it, but it's not the whole thing.
As you told, that this idea of Pygmalion is primarily a play about phonetics, but so has drawn this idea from what? From Ovid's
From Ovid Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis.
metamorphosis. And also there you have found that the Duchess is, the sculptor has made the Duchess and he fell in love with her. So the concept of romance is the original theory of Pygmalion, concept of romance. And here also, indirectly or indirectly, Mr. Higgins and Mr. Pickering both are having affinity towards the character of Elijah Doolittle, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
The behavior may be different. Higgins may be rough, tough, but Pickering is very soft and kind. But both of them are investing their interest and energy over this girl's performance, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes or no? How is Mr. Pickering? He's older.
Hmm.
He's older, and the distinction between both of them is not constant. The distinction between both of them, Mr. Higgins and Pickering, is not constant. Sometimes Mr. Higgins is more inclined to Elijah Doolittle, and he thinks that he sees his possession, because he has done a lot of things for her and she has transformed herself. So he is a bit possessive, isn't it? So, but Mr. Pickering is very passive towards all this. Though he has interest towards Miss Elijah Doolittle, but he is very passive towards this. He is not as possessive as Mr. Higgins is. Pygmalion is, take a short note, is primarily a play about correction of language for the lower class people, or dialect. Correction of dialect is, it is confined to a particular area. Dialect is confined to a particular area. Language belongs to a particular country or the state, but in a particular area, how that language is spoken is called a dialect. It's a regional confinement. What I said is about the correction of language of the poor class people, represented by the character of Elijah Doolittle. But there are other concerns. Like class distinction, good manners, and middle class morality. Though there is no matrimonial culmination of the relationship between Elijah Doolittle and Higgins, though there is no matrimonial culmination, in the relationship of Elijah Doolittle and Higgins, still the undercurrent is always romance. And Higgins is not ready to accept and digest the idea of Elijah marrying Freddie. Elijah marrying Freddie. So there are a cluster of themes. But most of them concentrate on the character of Elijah Doolittle. The man-woman relationship is differently portrayed. Now stop writing. In this, in Act 1, we those who have read the text in detail. Has anybody read the text in detail? Nobody. You know, in Act 1, Higgins is telling Mr. Pickering that you will find the speakers, and once you listen to them, you can know their place. What is it? From their accent, you can find out from which place they are coming. What is it? This is to identify the dialect of their knowledge. Yes, yes, phonetics. Phonetics of a particular region, that is called dialect. How you utter the same language in different place. So, in the opening act, we find that the pure purpose of Bernard Shaw is to rectify the accent of Elijah Doolittle, who is a girl of very poor background, and very sorrowfully is her family history. Her father is having almost 6 wives, and she is most neglected. But Mr. Higgins is taking enough interest in uplifting her so far as language is concerned. What is the purpose behind him? What is the purpose? Why is he investing so much interest in her?
He was experimenting with her.
Just experimental.
No, and
See, he has his own purpose. What is it?
To show his skills in teaching phonetics.
He shows his skills in teaching phonetics. He has also some enhanced interest in having some relationship with Elijah Doolittle other than just being a teacher. And he is not ready to accept the idea of marriage of Elijah Doolittle with whom?
Freddie.
Yes. Why? What harm is there to Mr. Higgins? She can marry anybody she likes if you are only a teacher. But what is the undercurrent of this? Because he cannot accept that the lady whom he has changed and made her sophisticated should marry this fellow Freddie. He cannot tolerate this. Understood? So that shows that he has become sufficiently weak towards Elijah Doolittle in other purposes than simply teaching her. Then another theme that persists throughout the play is class distinction, then middle class morality, and kinds of manners, how they are behaved. How is Mr. Pickering behaving to Elijah Doolittle?
he's quite
Compassionate.
What background of Elijah Doolittle shows that the society is full of such people where no culture is there, no morality is there? What shows this? The father of Elijah Doolittle projects a very poor idea about family, isn't it? He had 6 wives, and he is also greedy to take money, isn't it?
yes, ma'am.
I think nobody has read it.
Yes, ma'am. When
Yes, ma'am.
initially he was not ready.
He was ready to take the money instead of and was ready to leave Eliza to Higgins. Like
Yes.
after you can keep him and teach whatever you want. In turn, you just give me the money. This shows that it's low morale type thing.
And what happens at the end of the play when she is completely educated? Does she do any job?
Ma'am, this is the another theme, that is ideal woman. Despite Eliza uplifting herself, she is not independent enough and was left with no choice apart from getting married. So this is another theme of the play. That even if people get, you know, like
She can no more become a flower girl,
yes,
which she was originally, because this education will become a barrier in her earning. Does she go back to her old profession? Does she go back to flower selling again?
No,
she was
ma'am.
not that choice anymore.
No, no choice. That is, there will be a bias. There will be a constraint. She can't go. She can't go back.
Yes, ma'am.
And this education, had it been a vocational education, she could have done something. But this language education became of no use. Became of no use, and she felt very much embarrassed after learning everything. She became penniless, isn't it? Again, she has to depend upon her father. So, taking the opportunity of the relationship of all these, she is marrying whom?
Freddie, she's marrying Freddie.
Mrs. Higgins says that the problems of what is to be done with her afterwards. Elijah herself asked Higgins after her success, "What am I fit for? What have you left me fit for? Where am I to go? What am I to do? What to become of me?" That means she is crying over her misfortune, though now she is educated, she knows correct English, but what she will do? She is questioning Mr. Higgins. What you made me and what will be of me in future? What can I do? Who says this? This shows that this shows that ultimately they go for a flower shop. If you have read, you will discover that Elijah and Freddie they marry and they open a flower shop. What did they open? They opened a flower shop after much prevarication that they are until they are unfit to run it. Freddie, like all youths educated at cheap, pretentious, and thoroughly ineffectual schools, knew a little Latin. Unfortunately, he knew nothing else. He did not have the slightest knowledge of accounts or business. Colonel Pickering had to explain to him what a checkbook and a bank account meant. So Freddie was a bogus fellow. Understood? And the knowledge that Elijah Doolittle acquired after a lot of practice of phonetics, it became of no use. She could not improve her job. Ultimately, they opened a flower shop and they had to suffer in gutter. And once in the play, Higgins says that if I cannot throw you to gutter again, understood? But ultimately, she goes to the gutter. Who? So here, the question of manner comes. The question of manner means there is a contrast of manner between Colonel Pickering and Mr. Higgins. Mr. Higgins is very harsh, rough and tough, very possessive, and also sometimes he talks in a high voice to Elijah. But Mr. Pickering is very soft and kind. There is always a change in the manner of both the people. And she always, Elijah is called by Mr. Pickering as Miss Doolittle. Though she is a poor girl, but he talks with her with honor. Who?
Pickering.
Pickering.
Mr. Pickering. He is older than Higgins. You know, he is older than Higgins. Higgins has no purpose of marrying Elijah, but he has certain weakness that he doesn't tolerate this girl marrying Freddie. So social class becomes a constant. Write down. Lack of education and social class becomes a constant for Elijah Doolittle or for poor class people. Despite all efforts, Elijah Doolittle could not alternate her career or her profession or occupation. She tolerated Mr. Higgins for a pretty long time. She tolerated Mr. Higgins for a pretty long time only because of knowing phonetics perfectly. And the poor class people, represented by Elijah Doolittle or Elijah, they always belong to the same. And the comments and criticism of Mr. Higgins, the comments and criticism of Mr. Higgins about the poor class is very harsh, whereas Mr. Pickering is very soft and soothing person. So mannerism and social class is presented through the character of Higgins. Mannerism and social class, these two ideology, they are presented through character of Higgins, Pickering and Elijah. Do you have any idea of the word called stereotype? What is stereotype?
Yes, ma'am. It's
Preconceived notions and ideas are called stereotypes.
Yes, stereotype means the same. If you read the text of an author, 2-3 texts, the heroine or the hero or the central idea, they almost seem same. That is called stereotype. But here we find a different girl. In Candida, if you know the play of Candida of Bernard Shaw, there is a girl who is in love with a poet, but her husband neglects her all the while, and finally she falls in love with her poet. But when the question of relationship comes, the poet is interested to have some marital relationship with the girl Candida, she abruptly says no, because she honors her husband most, and she says that this is the difference between you two, that he is my husband, you are a poet, you are my beloved, but you are my lover, but you are not my husband. I will definitely stay with my husband and I cannot stay with you. So the undercurrent of love and romance drops there. So here the characters are projected in a different way. Elijah Doolittle has no idea about marrying anyone with interest after being so educated, because she has no other choice. She again finds the boy, this boy, Freddie, who is no way matching for her and is taking up the risk of marrying that fellow. So ideologically, Bernard Shaw gives a variety of social picture, and all the characters are not stereotyped. All the themes are not also stereotyped. The Savian literature, Savian means belonging to Bernard Shaw, the Savian creation or literature, we will find he is capable of subverting the main story and making a variety of colors of the society. He portrays the society in very many ways. He is never giving one type of picture, one type of character, one type of events, one type of plot, one type of storyline. No. Variety of storyline he has selected and he portrays them in his plays. So Bernard's style or the theme line of majority plays are almost political, social, romantic, then educative, say didactic, and many other type of stories he tries to write. But here in this play, Elijah Doolittle is, or Elijah is a model character. Elijah is a model character, and the title itself speaks about her background, Doolittle. Understood? And these are all social satires. In social satires, you will get such names: brain lost. That means not working properly. Understood? They are called the name signifying the nature, Doolittle. So the title of the heroine indicates her background. Doolittle shows that she does a little work. Critics comment that, now listen to me, don't write. Critics comment that Higgins' relationship with Elijah has endangered a variety of responses from critics, directors, viewers, and readers. And they didn't accept the character tie of Higgins and Elijah. They didn't appreciate in a good way. So Shaw adds a long afterword to the play to suggest that Elijah, instead of marrying Higgins, chooses Freddie and lives happily even after with him. The film version of the other hand ends with Elijah's return to the professor. Many readers also feel that Shaw is mistaken in separating her from Higgins. Is our playwright justified in his conscience? Are Higgins and Elijah compatible? Now, there is a proposition that Higgins and Elijah should marry, but she doesn't. She finally marries Freddie. But in the picture of Pygmalion, some little improvement is done, and finally the heroine comes back to Mr. Higgins. But critics comment, does this pair show perfect, or is it a perfect pair, or is it a compatible pair? Yes or no?
And to be neutral, it's not compatible. But on the other hand, we can see that
But Mr. Higgins is already married.
yes,
So in the movie, little improvised is done, and the Elijah comes back to Higgins, which is a failure of Bernard Shaw. Critics comment that such relationships should not stand where the base is teaching. So, Elijah shows a repulsive instinct towards Higgins. She is not very keen on romantic matters with Higgins. And when she marries Freddie, Higgins doesn't like it. He doesn't appreciate it. He can't digest it. So the whole thing is, it may be a source of desire in the mind of Higgins, though not in Elijah. Understood? So the man-woman relationship between Elijah and Higgins is diverted, and it ends with the marriage with Freddie. So Shaw's observation of this relationship, write down. Shaw's observation of this relationship of man woman In the pair character of Elijah and Mr. Higgins, flops. Sure, other comments. While writing long question, you quote these lines. Sure, other comments that Elijah has no use, inverted comma begins. Elijah has no use for the foolish romantic tradition. Elijah has no use for the foolish romantic tradition that all women love to be mastered. All women love to be mastered, if not actually bullied and bitten. If not actually bullied and bitten. This shows very indignant opinion, the opinion which nobody would appreciate of Shaw himself regarding his own heroine or the character of his own play. It is not only with the Elijah Doolittle, don't write. It is not only with Elijah Doolittle, it is a comment over every lady of the society who love to be mastered, though not bullied and beaten. This is a social crisis. Many critics have commented against this, and the relationship doesn't flourish, of course, but it is always a comment that women are easily mastered. And this comment provokes a lot of criticism for Bernard Shaw. The purpose of a teacher or a language trainer, don't write. The purpose of a language trainer is not to educate him, educate her. The purpose, the undercurrent, was mostly what? His personal interest, because she was a beautiful girl, though not very educated. She belongs to a very downtrodden background and also a very bad heritage. But Higgins takes interest in her. Now, coming to the structure of the play. The structure of the play is not in accordance with the structure of the drama as designed by Aristotle. But the principles of covering the play from the beginning to the end remains interesting, and the theme spreads over the play in every act. We don't know what is going to happen at the end of the play. We do find that there is enough interest among the characters to discover everybody, and though the theme is divided into 5 acts, but there is no need sequencing, proper sequencing, and the expected scenes don't appear. Understood? Sequencing means you are apprehending something to happen, but it's not happening. You are anticipating the result of something, but it's not happening there and then, but it's happening later. Understood? That is called not neat sequencing. And compare and contrast among parallel characters and events are also not satisfactory. Parallel characters means who are the parallel characters?
Lisa and Pickering.
Peers. Then what else? Who are the others?
Ma'am, Freddie also. Miss.
Ready. Then Mrs. Higgins. Yes, any other? When we come to the structure of the play, we find it is a romantic play. It is a romantic play, but there is not a single romantic element. The play has a framework of romantic play, but it is interspersed with unromantic elements. At the same time, it uses several comic conventions and introduces novelistic elements. In this context, we can say that the genre is very controversial. The genre to which this play belongs. It is a play, it is a novel, or it is a romantic play, or it is a serious play, or it is a didactic play. The genre is not very definite. We cannot just define that the Pygmalion is such and such a play. So the source of this play, what is the source?
I don't know what this is, I guess.
Source of this play is there was a king in Cyprus who was also a sculptor, and he created an ivory statue of a lovely woman uh, who was so beautiful that he himself fell in love with her. Understood?
Oh,
And
this is taken from Greek mythology, I believe.
yeah, these are all Greek mythology is full of such events.
Yes.
Understood?
And
There,
he prayed and asked God to make that statue a real woman,
Yes, yes.
yes. After
so that he could
statue
so that he could
he
marry that
requested the
woman.
goddess of love. He requested the goddess of love to make the statue a real woman, because after it is done, she became so beautiful that he himself fell in love with her. Understood? And then uh, she became lively, or she became alive by the virtue of goddess of love, and the two got married and lived happily even after. So was Pygmalion. Professor Higgins similarly creates his own Galatea, the lady whom that Pygmalion king had made. This girl's name was Galatea, Galata. Have you read the sources of the play? Anybody, Sanjana?
No, ma'am, I haven't.
Yes, ma'am.
It is from Greek mythology, and the name of the lady who was engraved in the stone by the king Pygmalion, his name is Galatea. And after changing the character of Elijah Doolittle, Higgins also nourished a desire that after transforming Elijah, a common ignorant slovenly flower girl, into a marvelous duchess by creating a new speech for her, and with the help of Pickering and Mrs. Pierce, giving her new manners and a new lifestyle. So she is his creation, the new Elijah, is the Galatea that Pygmalion has sculpted. However, in such version, Pygmalion doesn't fall in love with her and she marries someone else, the typical Savian twist. So, there is a twist in the source of the play. And Shaw did not compel his character Mr. Higgins to marry the girl Elijah, whereas Pygmalion married Galatea in the Greek myth. Understood? Shaw has a master skill of giving the unexpected. This is his dramatic trick. You must be anticipating something to happen, that won't happen. Something else will happen. That is like giving a twist to the expectations of the audience. Write down. Bernard Shaw has his typical style of adopting mythology and giving them new twist. And he always presents the reverse of what audience expect. He always presents the reverse of what audience expect. And the parallel stories of the Greek and Shaw The parallel stories of the Greek and Shaw never end in the same sequence or same consequences. The scenes always alternate their the scenes always alternate their locations. Sometimes it is outside Higgins' house, and sometimes it is the interior of his house. And in Act 1, 2, and 3, there is continuous arrivals and departures, except Act 4.
Ma'am, can you repeat, please?
There is continuous arrivals and departures in almost all acts, especially 1, 2, and 3 of the characters, but not in Act 4. Combining the characters like Elijah Doolittle and Freddy, combining the characters like Elijah Doolittle and or Elijah and Freddy just presents them as purposeless romantic pair. Just presents them as purposeless romantic pair. There is always a wide gap between class. And the matching of Higgins with Freddy is unimaginable. So far as
Ma'am, please repeat.
I forgot. Anybody has written? Anybody who has completed this, please?
After
The matching between the matching between Higgins and Elizabeth is unimaginable. Hey, Higgins and Freddy is unimaginable so far as the relationship with Elijah is concerned. But surprisingly, Higgins' indifference to Elijah is opposed by or is juxtaposed to Freddy's loving adoration for her. Higgins is at the pinnacle of his profession. Whereas Freddy fails to even earn his living. Taking up the other characters, don't write. Taking up the other characters like Clara. How is she? How is Clara? No, this will be very difficult if you have not read.
And Clara is rude, ill-mannered.
Ill-mannered. Who is she?
She is the sister of Freddy.
She's sister of Freddy.
Sibling. They
Clara?
both are siblings.
Yeah. Tell me how Clara is influencing the character of Elijah. How? What does Mrs. Higgins speak about her son Henry? No, this cannot be done. If you don't read, then I cannot explain abrupt things to you. Because this is critical. No, we are not doing the text. We are analyzing it. What does Mrs. Higgins speak about her own son Henry?
Mrs. Higgins tells Henry to be nice to Doolittle, Eliza Doolittle.
Mrs. Higgins feels that her son is ill-mannered. Her son
Yes,
is ill-mannered and she is unable to change him to a gentleman. Understood? And that is why he has remained a bachelor. We have seen in the early of the plays that he has remained a bachelor. So mothers have no control over their children. Now the what point coming out? That the mothers have no control over their children. This is another attack on feminism. That is, this is another attack on the social structure where ladies have no voice. Shaw himself said that ladies are interested or girls are interested to be loved and mastered, even bullied and beaten. So now we find that mothers are not able to control their children. From the example is Mrs. Higgins. This is another insight of Bernard Shaw while portraying the social strata of the people and how things don't influence ladies' power. There is a lot of difference between Freddie and Claire. It's not Claire, it's Clara. And both of them are siblings, but they behave differently. The reason is lack of family culture. The reason is lack of family culture. Just note it down. There is a structural parallel between the two transformations and also the reactions of the persons transformed in the process. In a large sense, the implication is that social climbing is not exceptional as it occurs here. In more than one case, one woman and one man, one young woman and one middle-aged man. However, it may not be desirable in every case. So, in the social structure, there is always a matching of people, and there is structural parallel between transformations. If Elijah Doolittle is transformed, Freddie remains the same. And if Elijah Doolittle is transformed, this girl Clara remains the same. So social transformation does not take place with the every character that Shaw has produced in this play Pygmalion. Higgins and Pickering. Mrs. Pierce. Who is Mrs. Pierce?
Maid.
She's a maid.
In Higgins' home.
In Higgins' home, right? She's the maid there.
How does she react to the behavior of Henry and this lady, Mrs. Higgins?
She is compassionate to this this woman, Doolittle, Eliza Doolittle. She even requests Higgins to show her some compassion.
Elijah Doolittle refers to somebody who is a stepmother, but we have never seen her coming to the forefront. Who is the stepmother? She has a stepmother, but she is silent. That character doesn't appear. But Elijah always refers to her parents. What is the meaning of this?
Maybe she was abandoned.
No, she has a stepmother, but all the while she refers to the parents. Why? Because she wants to establish her parentage. Though she has a stepmother, but she wants to establish her parentage.
But ma'am, in Act 1, she says that she has no one, she has no background, no parents, And
No. She says, but after the reading of different acts, we come to know that she has a father who has 6 wives.
right, right. But
She has
initially, she did not portray anything about
Initially, she
the.
doesn't recognize, but afterwards, she always refers to her parents. This is a change. She wants to be established as having proper parentage. This is also a good social question. If your parentage is not clear, then you will be demeaned by the society, underestimated by the society. That religion doesn't give anybody that scope. Understood? What are the pattern structure? She's an absentee character, the mother of Elijah. Now, questioning about the genre of the play, elements of romance, comedy, and novel. Now, this play Pygmalion, write down, though formally means according to form. This play Pygmalion, though formally written in dramatic form, Shaw himself calls it romance in 5 acts.
Ma'am, what does Shaw calls it?
Romance in 5 acts. Romance in 5 acts. Why romance? What happens in romance or romantic comedy? It is a comedy, it is a romance, and also it is a novel. The genre is not clear. So, what is a romance? What is a romance? Anybody?
Emotional attachment, then
Comic end of lovers. Comic end of lovers.
this one.
Simple
Same.
definition, comic end of lovers, romantic pairs.
This one.
He calls it a romance in 5 acts. And he says that rest of the story need not be shown in action, and indeed would hardly need telling in our imaginations were not so enfeebled by the ready-made and rich me downs of the rags up in which romance keeps its stock of happy ending to misfit all stories. So he says that the stories are not fit for romance, but the ending is romantic. That means the play ends with the union of the hero and the heroine. Here, their Freddy is not the hero. Understood? So that is a flaw. That is a flaw of romantic comedy. Shaw himself contradicts his preparation. He presents the play as a romantic comedy or as a romance, but at the end of the play, he proves that the Elijah Doolittle marrying Freddie is not a romantic marriage, is not the success of a romantic comedy, or is not the success of a romance, because the hero is not Freddie. Who is the hero?
Higgins.
Mr. Higgins is the hero. It is a mismatch. Understood? It is a mismatch of romantic comedy. It is not successful. And though throughout the play, Shaw instills the idea of romance between Elijah Doolittle and Higgins, but when Freddie interferes into the story, Higgins is out step by step, not suddenly, and gradually he withdraws. Though he doesn't appreciate this marriage, but he has to withdraw because he is married, and his affinity towards, you cannot say love, his affinity towards Elijah Doolittle is not established, is not recognized also. The character of Elijah is though foolish, but shows intellectualism or shows intellect or even practical wisdom by choosing Freddie instead of Mr. Higgins, isn't it? He doesn't have she doesn't have any scope of choosing, but she doesn't show that affinity of a marriage with Mr. Higgins, isn't it? She is like the heroine of a fairy tale. Who? Elijah. There is no clear cut conclusion in the story. Who can tell me what is the influence of Higgins on the life of Elijah?
Ma'am, at one point he helped Elijah in matter of
Tell me
getting
from
up.
Act 1. Tell me from Act 1 how they are introduced.
Ma'am, in Act 1, just after when Eliza meets Freddie unknowingly and a small conversation goes on between them, then she happens to, like, she comes to Higgins where Pickering was having a conversation with Higgins, and there she approaches Higgins. And also in Act 1, for the very first time, he has seen Higgins doing some fanticide. So she was drawn to it, and thereafter she comes to Higgins and asks that if he is ready to teach him this fantaside or not. Then initially Higgins refused. Then Eliza uh, told him that I would give you money instead of teaching me this. Then Higgins also at that time also he did mockery about him. Later, both Higgins and Pickering just they on planned that let's what let's experiment a bit and let's see what finally happens. That
What happens when we are introduced to this character? What is the atmosphere of the play? Is it romantic or not? Raining outside.
yes, ma'am, it
Yes,
starts with a
the thunder
storm.
and lightning and
Yes,
all
yes,
the
thunder
characters are
and
standing
lightning,
there.
and the girl is almost submissive towards the person that I need your help, and the atmosphere itself is
And
presented to be
she's also
comic.
kind of impressed with Mr. Higgins.
Mr.
The way,
Higgins.
yeah.
Yes, yes. And Doolittle is not very unhappy about Mr. Higgins, but I think she is caring for her age, and she knows that because she belongs primarily to a low class, she can never settle with Mr. Higgins. There is the
Mr.
class barrier. It is not the king who had gone for hunting and met a jungle girl or a wild girl in the jungle, and there she saved his life and he got married and came back after 2 years without recognizing the queen. It doesn't happen. Understood? Could you get my point? What happens there?
Yes, ma'am.
What happened? What I said?
Ma'am, it's that a king has the choice to choose anyone, but single figure from lower class do not possess
And
that much.
once the king had gone to the forest for hunting, there he was attacked by somebody whom he doesn't know. And suddenly, one girl who was going to get water from the stream, she met him and found the king lying on the near the stream and bleeding. So she took care of the. She nursed the king and brought him to her house or hut, and there the king married the girl, and after 2 years, the king did not want to come back to the kingdom, and the queen searched for her for a pretty long time. So there is no class. It is not that the king can do no wrong, but it is, of course, it is there, but there was no rigidity of class.
जोड़े पड़ी हैं.
Understood? There was no rigidity of class, but here we find that Elijah Doolittle is not crossing her limit. Got it? The prime purpose of the writer, or the prime purpose of the dramatist, to show the class, social class, as important in the then society. He always lodges a check on their movement, how far and how long they can travel. So they are always projected as parallel lines. Who? Elijah Doolittle and Mr.
Higgins.
Higgins. Can I take a break of 5 minutes
Sure, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
to have a glass of water? Yes. Now we come to the comedy or the comic idea that prevails throughout the play, comic elements. What happens? Ending is very comic. First of all, Elijah Doolittle proves that it is better to marry a young man than marrying an older man who is keenly interested for her. Understood? That is the most satirical end. And the comic end is that Higgins' interest is thwarted. Then, first when Elijah Doolittle sees Mr. Higgins, what does she think of him?
That
could you
he's
please-
a policeman.
Yes. What happens to Elijah Doolittle when he first sees this man, Mr. Higgins? What does she think? What does she think of him?
She was a bit impressed by seeing her fantaside, and she was thinking the way that what if she learns.
No. She was thinking that he was a policeman who is taking notes because he is out to arrest her on charges of making indecent advances to men to solicit them as customers or clients. This happens in Act 1. Have you read it, Sundana? This happens in Act 1.
Oh, ma'am, I
Yes, ma'am. At the beginning only, like when they were standing, all people were
Yes,
standing in the portico of the some building. There, Higgins was telling about everyone. So
Yes.
one of them, he quoted him like he's a police officer, and he knows all because he's a police officer, and he is knowing each and everyone here. So the first impression Eliza gets is this only, like she is bit of afraid that she might be charged for something, or he can come and arrest her or something like that.
So again, the presentation of this idea is comic because Mr. Higgins is not a policeman, but this poor girl who has no idea about the variety of people of the society immediately thinks that see probably Mr. Higgins is doubting her as a prostitute. Understood? So this was a comic element in the beginning of the play, and then again about the dress of Elijah. She is not properly dressed. Her apron is not clean, and but she has tried to make it as clean as possible. But it is not clean at par with others' dresses. That is also another comic element. But compared to the ladies, she is very dirty. Her features are no worse than theirs, but they are condition level, something to be desired, and she needs the service of a dentist. There is a problem in her tooth. Understood? It is true that in the modern period, many dramatists describe the scene, the setting, and the appearance of the characters at length. For example, this Elijah Doolittle. In while presenting Elijah Doolittle, Sir doesn't take care of her. The first thing that he should take care is her presentation as a character, her beauty. But he presents her as in a very dirty condition of her dress, of her tooth, and that is also laughter provoking. And she becoming the student of phonetics from a reputed professor like Mr. Higgins is of course a comic reversal. There is enough mismatch in presenting the character and sending her for learning phonetics from a reputed phonetician or say linguist like Mr. Higgins. And the structure of the play in this regard is a failure. Nothing happens, nothing so serious happens that changes the play's primary motive or purpose. Characters are presented in exact basis. That means he doesn't give any dramatic color to the character who is presented. Even if the background of Miss Doolittle is not so high, but she is also presented as very low. Her dress, her tooth, her face makeup, and her the smell coming from her body, or say her total getup is not very good. And critics comment that there should be some sympathy from the dramatist towards the heroine, and she is projected as low. She is projected exactly as low. And the words are another important thing is words are dialect. She doesn't speak any language, she speaks dialect. And her mode of speech is also uh, extremely unimproved, rustic. As Wordsworth says, it is rustic. The power of expression of Elijah Doolittle. Coming to the character of Elijah Doolittle, how is she?
Ma'am, she has self-respect and she's
She has
quite in,
self-respect.
yes, ma'am,
How is she?
because when she learns that the motive behind teaching him, the motive behind Higgins and Pickering's of teaching her, then despite even having a slightest tinge of emotion, Eliza, she throws the paper at him and she, you know, like she decides within not to fall for him and then she decides to get married to some other man. This shows that she has self-respect. Then another is she is quite intellectual because when she found Hijin to perform the act of fanticide, she thought that if I could learn this, then this would give an extra brownie point for in my selling purpose of flower selling, so I can easily
Yes.
draw the customers to me. So this shows that she is quite intellectual, and she's also like, of course, because she learns she learns every new things which even she had no idea about. But when Professor Higgins make him to like starts teaching him, so she practices and she learns everything. This shows that she was quite intellectual.
That is it. No, some other aspect. Anybody else? Please tell me. There was a love affair, no, between Freddie and Elijah.
Not Freddie, Higgins.
Oh no, when he was adoring Elijah.
But even though
Then
she had feelings for him, she chose to walk
yes,
out. She even returned the ring also.
she returned the ring. She walked out, but ultimately, what she proved?
She was heartbroken because she had feelings for him, but she had self respect. That's why she chose to walk out instead of begging him,
And she
right?
had no weakness towards Mr. Higgins.
Okay.
She had no weakness towards Mr. Higgins.
But if she did not have weakness, then why did she throw the slippers?
You see, um, while portraying this character, you have to look into how she behaves in what situation. And her marriage with Freddie was not a compromise. On the other hand, Freddie was loving her, though he was not able to do a lot. But he was poor in business, in math, everything. But what she decided, it is better to marry that fellow. Language is very harsh. Mr. Higgins used to tell bloody, and the behavior of Mr. Higgins was also not so good towards Elijah. But Elijah tolerated all this not because he loved her she loved him so much. What is the reason for making the character of Freddie interfere into her life?
Maybe to make Higgins possessive?
See, he was primarily possessive.
She tolerated because she wanted to learn, and there is also one more reason, but I'm just not able to recall it right now.
When the play opens, we have seen that, or when in the beginning of the play, we have seen that Elijah is projected just as a girl who needs some guidance or some uh, coaching in this improvement of phonetics. It was not very necessary for the profession that she was having, was it?
No, no, no,
She
she
was a
wasn't.
flower girl.
Mm.
Was it so very necessary? She is not an English professor. Was it very necessary that she should have improved this?
But she could get a better job in that flower shop, right?
No. What better job did she get?
Like she can work in a flower shop instead of selling flowers in the street.
Oh, only little better venue. What else? What else makes Elijah Doolittle the center of everything in the play? How many characters surround Elijah Doolittle?
And there are characters, of course, these two, like prominent man, that is Higgins and Pickering.
Yes?
Added, these two prominent men, that is Higgins and Pickering, and added to it, there are also other characters like Eliza's father and Higgins. So they were also there, and parallelly, there was also this, of course, the man who seems to get married ultimately towards the end. She was also there.
What kind of character was she?
She was
Compromising.
no, no, not at all. She was a head high kind of girl because
But she was a cockney flower girl.
yes, she did, but somewhere maybe
She had a blunt personality, practical and responsible.
yes,
She overshadowed the character of Mr. Higgins
yes, ma'am.
by her personality after the transformation. She didn't just bow down in front of the personality of Professor Higgins, isn't it? She had self-respect. But
She was
what made it? Yes,
she was determined, like to resolute in her desire and to improve her life. Then she was like to some extent vulnerability was also there because she was emotionally very sensitive and
I'm giving you some little detail of the emotion towards Freddie. Elijah gets so wrapped up in her own feelings that she is oblivious to how Freddie feels about her and thinks about other things while he is trying to express his love for her. So here also we find that Elijah knows that she is being loved by Freddie, but she doesn't pay any importance. She has got native intelligence. She has respect for herself, and her intelligence is preventing her from surrendering to Freddie so easily. But Freddie was loving her throughout, isn't it?
yes, ma'am.
What else she has? What excellent quality she has?
I guess intelligence was there because very quickly, she adapted the things that were taught by Professor
She had a
Higgins.
perfect ear. She had a
Yes,
perfect ear of listening to others and following them. So far as language is concerned, she always wanted to change her accent. Yes, she has tolerance. Yes, she has
she's
tolerance,
independent.
intelligence. Yes,
She's also independent, self-sufficient.
yes, she is independent. Then what else? What is extraordinary in her?
Like I don't know what the specific term, but at one point when she felt she was feeling extremely humiliated by Professor Higgins' behavior. Then she happens to visit her mother, and despite asking Professor Higgins that is Eliza here or not, her mother denies, and like after Professor Higgins left, then she comes into the front. So I don't know what character we can get from here, but this was a kind of incident in the.
So wanted to change or transform this flower girl to a duchess who would work in the ambassador's garden party. Does it really happen?
No, like Elizabeth transformation is not just about changing her appearance, but also her language, manners, and social status. And she was quite empowered because she gains confidence and. Like, I'm just not getting you what exact term you are wanting.
The character of Elijah, write down. The character of Elijah, intentionally or unintentionally, changes to fulfill the primary intention of the dramatist. Please write quickly. Yes. Intentionally or unintentionally, as given by the dramatist or as presented by the dramatist, is a progression. Is a progression which she makes from all inverted comma begins. A thing of stone commands a nothingness within inverted comma, a gutter snipe within inverted comma, and a squashed cabbage leaf. These are the adjectives meant for whom?
Ma'am, please repeat, ma'am.
Her character is a progression which she makes from a thing of stone within inverted comma, a nothingness within inverted comma, a gutter snipe within inverted comma, and a squashed cabbage leaf within inverted comma. Squashed cabbage leaf within inverted comma. And to the final act, where she is an exquisite lady, totally self-possessed, a person who has, in many ways, a person who has, in many ways, surpassed her creator. Surpassed her creator. Who is the creator? Who is the creator?
Mr.
Again,
Higgins.
Mr.
Hagen.
Higgins, not her mother. Okay. In the opening act, the audience fails to believe that, or fails to know that, behind the horrible sounds, there is a great work of art, which is potential. There is a great work of art which is potential and in which a crude piece of marble, is transformed into a beautiful statue. She possesses a great deal of native intelligence and has a perfect ear, receiving all sorts of sounds, a superb memory, a super memory, and a passionate desire to improve herself. The basic qualities of Elijah, was hidden in Act 1, and she was presented as a low, vulgar creature. Not only she is poor at phonetics or English language, but more importantly, she is projected as low, a vulgar creature without manner, a cockneyed flower girl who tries to solicit money from a well-dressed gentleman. Her appearance and her presentation is confusing, and she herself is afraid of Mr. Higgins. Who seemed to be a policeman to her. Though she was selling flour, but she had a fear of being accused of prostitution. What made Higgins take interest in giving her right lessons in phonetics What made Higgins take interest in giving her right lessons in phonetics? It's still a question. Still is an unsolved question. And why? What is his interest? Why he took interest in her? There are many such, because she is representing a class. She is not one. What is the reason?
She doesn't come from a humble background, so he can take advantage of her.
Is the even I don't know about critics, but I don't understand what made him so passionate to teach this girl in perfect English language.
He developed some feelings towards her.
He took interest in her first. Then he tried to change her. And he tried to change her manners, her language, and wanted to transform her to a complete duchess. And gradually she adopted middle class manners. And the reason is very ironic as to why. Eliza wanted to become the member of respectable middle class. You know, she did not take any interest in learning best English. She just wanted to improve her standard up to the middle class. And she wanted to be the member of respectable middle class. And in order to do so, she must learn proper pronunciation and manners. This is the question. Eliza took interest in learning proper pronunciation and manners. She developed a dog-like devotion towards her two masters. So who are the two masters?
Mr. Higgins and Pickering.
Mr. Higgins and Pickering. Was it very essential for both of them to take up the lesson specially for her? Higgins rejects her devotion, dog-like devotion. See what the writer is comparing the girl with. Her respect towards these two teachers is dog-like. The progress of her development or the phases of her development witness a lot of change in her personality. And ultimately, she declares herself independent. In Act 4 and 5, she is completely transformed. In Act 4 and 5, she is completely transformed. And outwardly, she is poised. Outwardly, she is poised, dignified, in control of her once spitfire temper, and she has rejected all old common vulgarity. And she has rejected all old common vulgarity of her past. She is no more interested to be Higgins' creation. Look at this. She asserts her own independence. But she demands values from life. She demands values from life which Higgins cannot give her. Higgins wants to change the world and Elijah wants to change herself. Write down, very important. Higgins wants to change the world and Elijah wants to change herself. Elijah is ready to be content with Freddie. Who simply needs and wants her as compassionate human being. Here is the love story. Elijah and Freddie need each other. But Elijah cannot stand the presence of Mr. Higgins longer. Understood? Higgins will continue to try to improve the world. Higgins will try to continue to try to improve the world while Elijah will make a comfortable home for herself. Done? This character of Elijah is done. Now we come to compare and contrast between Pickering and Higgins. How are they? Who can tell me? Yes? Higgins and Mr. Pickering.
Pickering was polite and gentle. In treating her, and Mr. Higgins is rough and bullying manner in treating her, Eliza.
Both are extremely intelligent and highly educated. and both act differently. Both are both are extremely intelligent and highly educated, but both work differently. What is the difference between their character? How is Higgins and how is Pickering? How is Higgins? Higgins is only ruthless towards her, or in general he is like that.
No, ma'am. Higgins is like very rude and ruthless types, and he's not ready to change his behavior for anyone. Rather, Pickering is more, yes, as she wrote, compassionate. He's humble and he's having like polite nature also. He is not harsh in his words or in his actions with anyone. And also, he tries to correct Higgins at points when he is rude towards Eliza. So by this, it's like he is more he is compassionate. He is more polite, a gentleman, you can say.
Who is a gentleman? Mr. Pickering or
Mr. Pickering, Mr. Colonel Pickering. Yes.
basic difference is what? What is the language of Mr. Higgins and what is the language of Mr. Pickering? It is not yet time. Why students are leaving class? 10 minutes, 15 minutes more. They should wait. We will discuss question. What is the difference between these two? Mr. Pickering is a cool breeze, and Mr. Higgins is a cut cross mountain. He loves hurting people. He is rough, ill mannered, and boasts of his own class. Isn't it? Yes or no? But Pickering, on the other hand, belongs to a high class, but he never boasts of it. He never tries to criticize anyone. He addresses Elijah as Miss Doolittle, which Higgins never does. Understood? Then he treats Elijah with respect. What else? Do you find any other purpose in the character of Mr. Pickering and Mr. Higgins? What is the purpose between the two? What is the purpose between the two? What they really want to do? Hmm? What they really want to do? Both of them. In one of the dialogues of Elijah Doolittle, she tells that there is a lot of difference between the manner of Mr. Pickering and you, sir. Then Mr. Higgins is asking how. Then Elijah says, Mr. Pickering treats a flower girl as if she was a duchess. Then Higgins says, and I treat a duchess as if she was a flower girl. Understood? This shows the contradiction and contrast between these two characters, though they profess the same thing, though they are language teachers. But they are not equal in different footings of the society. They belong to high class, they are professionally the same, they handle the same student, but there is a lot of difference between these two. Understood? Question will come like this. Now write down long questions. Few minutes left. Question number 1. Question number 1. Describe Pygmalion as a successful dramatic comedy or a comedy, as a successful comedy. Justify the title of Pygmalion. Justify the title of Pygmalion. How do you find that the drama is about social classes or distinction of social class? Distinction of social class. Sketch the character of Elijah Doolittle. Sketch the character of Elijah Doolittle. Sketch the character of Mr. Higgins. Then sketch the character of Mr. Pickering. Sketch the character of Mr. Pickering. Discuss Pygmalion as an anti-feminist play. Or the undercurrent of Pygmalion is anti-feminism. Yes or no? Then short notes. 10 mark questions. These are all long questions. Then short notes. Mrs. Higgins. Romantic theme in the play Pygmalion. 10 mark questions. Pygmalion is a play about social classes. What are the major themes of the play Pygmalion? What are the major themes of the play Pygmalion? Write a note on the structure of the play. Write a note on the structure of the play. How does the play attack on the mannerism of the lower class people? Discuss the source of the play. Discuss the source of the play. Discuss the comic end of the play. Was it comic or not? Discuss the comic end of the play. Elijah Doolittle, next question. Elijah Doolittle represents a feminist society. A feminist society. Done. Yes or
Yes,
no?
ma'am.
Took all questions?
Yes, ma'am.
If you read and revise these questions, the whole book will be completely exercised. Understood? So, what else?
Ma'am, this Mrs. Higgins character, I thought it's a mother of Higgins, right? Mr. Higgins.
Mother of Mr. Higgins, mother. Oh, there you have found that mother-son relationship.
No, I actually thought because you told because he gives a ring and also I actually thought this is the mother of Mr. Higgins.
Mother fixation and Oedipus complex. Higgins Elijah equation. Elijah, the fighter and the feminist. The moral issues in the play include Shaw's views on man-woman relationship and the attitude of several characters towards the opposite sex. As usual, Shaw has his share of witticism and paradoxical statement on the matter. When Pickering asks Higgins, "Are you a man of good character where women are concerned?" replies moodily, "Have you ever met a man of good character where women are concerned?" Higgins is a confirmed bachelor who resists the erotic incursion on any woman in his life. Oh, he was a bachelor, yes. Women upset everything when you let them. Oh, this is about Mrs. Higgins' mother. Yes. It is this mother fixation that prevents him from having a normal relationship with a woman. Yes.
So he's not married, right?
No, he is a bachelor. Mrs. Higgins is his mother. There is no wrong in answering that. Well, you will never fall in love with anyone under 45. When will you discover that there are some rather nice looking young women about? This is the statement of his mother. Then her son replies, "Oh, I can't be bothered with young women. My idea of a lovable woman is sometimes as like you as possible." This is not the key sentence of writing a note on mother-son relationship. Okay, this single sentence cannot be the key sentence for the answer. Mrs. Higgins does not appreciate the activities of her son, and so he says that you cannot, because you are so critical about women, so you cannot love anyone. That is what happens there. Anyway, any other question? Any other question? One thing.
Ma'am, if he was a bachelor, it's okay if he accepts her as his partner, right?
No. He says, "I want to love a woman like you," tells his mother. There, the critics have commented that this is Oedipus complex. Have you read the story of Oedipus?
Yes,
Oedipus
like
and Jocasta?
he accidentally
Who is
marries
the
his
mother?
mother,
Who is the mother?
and
Jocasta. Who is the mother?
yeah, Jocasta.
Yeah. But that is accidental. No, without his knowledge, he has done this crime, this sin. Understood? But here it is a comment. He finds that his mother is the best. So he tells like this. If he adores his mother so much, then he won't be able to find any other better woman who is not like his mother. That is normal. But that is not the statement by which we will compare this to the Oedipus concept. No. Anyway, any other question? So I want to make one announcement for all of you that we have 3 books and two more classes. Understood? We have Murder in the Cathedral. Then we have what else? By T.S. Eliot. Then we have
Look in anger, waiting for Godward.
Look Back in Anger. That is by John Osborne. And then finally Waiting for Godot. So I will combine these 3 in 2 classes. So tomorrow we will do Murder in Cathedral and Look Back in Anger half. And in the last class I will do these 2 together. Okay. All done. So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Welcome. Good night.
Good night, ma'am.
Good night, ma'am.
Good night. Thank you all.